different room in the Rifle Club Hall, Abhishek, because in one room you have the Prime Minister there who is present with all the top leaders of the NDA. In the other room, adjoining room, we are looking at the pictures of the officials there who will be just accepting the documents, the nomination papers that the Prime Minister will be handing over. So different set of visuals that we are getting live at this point in time. Any moment now, Abhishek, we're expecting that all the formalities will be done and the Prime Minister will be making his way to the adjoining room to give his documents as well. Is there any specific thing rather than a timing at that time that the Prime Minister will be then giving away his documents, will be submitting his documents, Abhishek?
No, typically what happens is, Amita, that everything is prepared, methodically done, scrutinized, because the stakes are so high, legal teams vetted, and multiple copies created, and prior checking is already done. So in a way, what happens at this stage is that the candidate goes and submits it, and a signature has to be done in front of the returning officer. It's obviously a photo op, and in this case, in the presence of all the leaders of the NDA, and that completes the formalities. I believe there is an oath also that is given to the candidate that if the candidate wins, he or she would abide by the Constitution of India. So that oath taking happens, that signing happens, and then the process is over. Also, there are proposers who also have to be physically present and sign the documents. So that process also takes place. So in a way, taken together, all these processes are done in about 10 to 15 minutes time. Now, given the fact that the top leaders are present, the photo op happens and some chit-chat happens. As we saw how Prime Minister touched the feet of Prakash Singh Badal, the patriarch of the Shiromani Akali Dal. So the process might take 20 minutes in all, and then everyone would come out. We are hoping to hear from the Prime Minister like he had spoken in 2014 at the exact same place, and almost with a sense of destiny had said that he was called by Mother Ganga and not was sent by anyone or did not plan to come on his own. Let's see what has changed now, with what choice of words he presents his candidature this time. He has been both an MP and PM from Varanasi. That's what people here fondly like to say, that they don't only elect a member of parliament, but they also elect a prime minister. A lot of things have changed on the ground here, about which we have been talking since yesterday. And it's not just a mandate in a way of one constituency. Mind you, long before cosmopolitanism became a modern cultural word, Varanasi has been a cosmopolitan cauldron of cultures for ages. So in a way, you might say that Varanasi might in a way reflect the sentiments on Narendra Modi which are prevalent across the country. So in that sense, how the Prime Minister responds to that sentiment when he comes out after having officially become the candidate for Varanasi constituency in this general election, we all wait and watch till the time it's done. I believe it's been already about 10 minutes. So another 10 minutes he should be out and hopefully speaking to us, Amita.
Absolutely, because we're just staying with the visuals and now they are getting up. Greetings again that are being shared between all the top leaders. I believe, Abhishek, now the Prime Minister will be moving to the adjoining room and will be submitting his documents because everybody has gotten up from their seats and the Prime Minister is making his way to the adjoining room. So any moment now the formalities will be done. Nomination papers that will be submitted, and as you have all the top leaders who are now waiting inside the Rifle Club Hall, one of the rooms there where they are waiting, and the Prime Minister now is making way to the other room right now. We're sticking with the live pictures and even waving his hand at the supporters who have gathered around the Rifle Club Hall in Varanasi. And the pictures have now changed, Abhishek. The very same room where you have all the officials there present and they're awaiting the Prime Minister. Everything, I believe, the paperwork, required paperwork has been done, all formalities done. It is just waiting for the Prime Minister to enter the room and just finish with the nomination formalities as well. Abhishek.
Well, yes, as I was explaining earlier, Amita, the whole process takes about 15-20 minutes, including the oath, including the signatures that are taken, not just of the candidate, but also of the proposers who need to be physically verified, so they have to be present. In this case, 4 of them, representative of the cultural milieu of Varanasi, and we have seen how Prime Minister, having landed here yesterday for the roadshow, has been interacting with his constituents. In the morning, it was a very interesting speech that he delivered to his booth-level workers, where he gave a glimpse of his mind as to what he thinks of this campaign. He said that he has already won yesterday, given the numbers that were there in the roadshow. But what is left is for the booth workers to succeed at every booth. What he was hinting at is that the issue is margin of victory, not so much the victory. Also, another marker of a sense of destiny that the Prime Minister has on his candidature from Varanasi came in the morning as well, Amita, when he said that he is nobody to make changes in Varanasi. It's an ancient city. It's a holy city. It is happening because of the will of Baba Vishwanath, the presiding deity of the temple town. So, while we have heard it earlier also from the Prime Minister, we are hoping that once he comes out, he speaks or interacts with the media. He has not done any media interaction in this part of his trip.
A quick update right now also, Abhishek, because we'll just quickly explain the visuals that are happening right now as we speak, and we're talking about those 4 proposers there. Abhishek, I want you to elaborate on them as well, because the Prime Minister there greeting them as well, and later on Ashirwad also being given to the Prime Minister, best wishes also being given to the Prime Minister, as he is just now holding the papers, holding the documents, and there is the moment where now he is submitting them to the officials there, Abhishek. Well, that has just happened. The Prime Minister there, he is seeking blessings also from the proposers there, and he's just sat on that chair giving away the documents. He's just submitted his documents, the nomination papers, Abhishek.
Well, Amita, I missed your question. Can you come again?
I was just describing the visuals right now that are happening, Abhishek, as we speak, because the Prime Minister there and all the proposers who have signed the names for the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister also seeking blessings from them. Tell us and elaborate more about the proposers, and the Prime Minister has just submitted his papers. That was the moment that I was talking about, Abhishek. Prime Minister that's submitting his nomination papers.
Well, yes, so effectively that completes the process, Amita, and the proposers are 4, representative of every walk of life in Varanasi. So one is from the BHU, one is from the Dome community, another is a doctor of repute in the city, and one is from the Patel community, the Kunbis that are a dominant community in this constituency, in this region, in fact. So in a way, while there was a bit of a controversy last time when the family of Ustad Bismillah Khan, who was a resident of Varanasi, had refused to participate in the process, this time they came back and apologized and expressed their wish to be part of the nomination and to become one of the proposers. But it seems that the Prime Minister decided that broad-basing would be a better idea. So the 4 proposers have been broad-based, have been selected after broad-basing the criteria to make it more representative of the cultural life and milieu of Varanasi, which has, a certain subculture of its own, as we have seen in literature, in religion, and in culture, even Bollywood. The 2 movies recently that came around Varanasi, one was Masan, the other was Mohalla Assi. Very, starkly represented the life in Varanasi, presented life in Varanasi with all its atypical contents. So the proposers are also reflective of that milieu and that culture. and we are hoping that once the process is over, the Prime Minister comes out and speaks to the media. We have seen how yesterday the BJP occupied spaces at both physical level in terms of filling the streets and corners of Varanasi with that massive roadshow, and at a mental level with having achieved that scale of a roadshow that everyone was talking about it, everyone was watching it. And today, a very different picture of a BJP which is accommodative, a BJP which takes care of its allies, a BJP which respects the federal structure of the country in terms of taking everyone on board, as reflected in the alliance making, as was being explained to us by Nalin Kohli, BJP spokesperson, just a while back. This campaign has been about political messaging by the BJP, setting the narrative, and wherever they have not been able to do it, or wherever they have not been able to be the first to set the narrative, to then wrest it from the opposition. That kind of aggression, that kind of possession has been shown by the party, its top leadership. We have, and I must come again, harp a bit more on this alliance thing, Amita, for the benefit of viewers, because apart from the NDA allies, in the pictures you can see three more senior leaders of the BJP: Rajnath Singh, Sushma Swaraj, Nitin Gadkari. Now there was this agenda that was being pushed, or a narrative that was being pushed by opposition, that if BJP gets 180 seats, Sushma Swaraj might become Prime Minister, she would be more acceptable. If the BJP gets 200 seats, then Nitin Gadkari might be acceptable and might become Prime Minister. If BJP gets 220 seats, then Rajnath Singh is more acceptable and he should become Prime Minister. Here we have all three leaders present, in a way presenting a picture of unity. So there are no 180, 200 or 220 seat clubs in the BJP, which was directly connected with some people actually wanting Narendra Modi to lose. That was the suggestion. So with this picture, even that is taken care of in the sense that this troika of top leaders are present and are seen as supporting Prime Minister Modi's candidature for the member of parliament from Varanasi, and obviously as the leader of the campaign for Prime Ministership of the country.
Absolutely there, and I believe the formalities are still going on as we are sticking with the live pictures, and a lot of comparison also being done from 2014 and 2019 because Abhishek, that point in time, Narendra Modi was a candidate who was contesting elections first time from the ground of Varanasi. Now, no longer is that the outsider tag that is still kind of seen attached with Narendra Modi. It is more acceptable now to the people there, and that is how we witnessed the sea of people really, the surge really that was witnessed on the streets of Varanasi yesterday. But even a bigger show of strength is that one particular room, Abhishek, that we were talking about, where you have all the top BJP leaders, the NDA leaders, and how the picture and the time and the scenario has completely changed from 2014, the very same room that the Narendra Modi at that point in time had filed his nominations, and today it is the same thing that is happening.
Well, same and different. Same because obviously Narendra Modi is filing the nomination. Different because that time he was on his own. He was still a curiosity. He was being backed because he rode on the tailwinds of a lot of anti-incumbency against the Congress and the BJ and the UPA. But this time, he is someone who has been tested. He is someone who has been in power. He is someone who is coming back with a report card. Earlier in the day, he was speaking, yesterday in fact, he was speaking to a set of intellectuals of Varanasi, and he said that while there are certain parties which are not bothering to give a report card even after 70 years having been in power, he has been in power for 5 years.
The oath taking, I believe, is happening right now, Abhishek. Sorry for the interruption, but quickly apprising of viewers of what exactly is happening right now, as Abhishek will tell us in detail how this...
कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा, और मैं सत्य निष्ठा से प्रतिज्ञा करता हूं कि भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण रखता है।
So Abhishek, the moment that has just happened right now is the oath undertaken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as I believe all the required formalities has just been done by him, as you were suggesting and telling us about the entire procedure that happens at the DM's office. As we continue with the live pictures, it is the Prime Minister who has just taken the oath. I believe everything now as far as nomination papers is concerned is that formality is over now, Abhishek. Well, as our executive editor Abhishek Kapoor continues to be with us and will tell us in detail how exactly this process is all about, how it is done, because we've just witnessed Prime Minister there earlier entering the room, taking blessings from the approvers there as well, the proposers there rather, who are also present in that very same room, the DM's office, and submitting his papers. A short while back, he just took the oath as required if he wins the seat of Varanasi, as this is the entire procedure that takes place, and doing this final bit of signatures there on the documents as he has submitted his nomination paper. So in just minutes from now, the entire formality will be done, and we are expecting him to come back to the very same hall in the adjoining place in the adjoining room, where in the Rifle Club Hall, where you have other top BJP leaders and NDA leaders who are waiting for the Prime Minister there, and thereafter probably he will be interacting with the media, with the people there, because something that had happened similarly and with a lot of difference too. Today, the date, what happened in 2014 and 2019, but it is Narendra Modi that point in time contesting as a candidate. This time around, his work has been tried and tested. So it is going to be the people's verdict rather on the 19th of May and 23rd of May when the results really come out. But I believe this is the last straw of all the formalities that are taking place. Behind him, the individuals seated right behind the Prime Minister, you can see they are the four proposers there whose names have been mentioned, while in the documents, the nomination papers that the Prime Minister has just submitted to the officials there. And this is just based of a formality that takes around 5 to 10 minutes. And we are expecting that after scrutinizing all the documents, Prime Minister has officially then filed his nomination papers. He's just taken the oath as well. And this is the procedure that takes place, and any moment from now, he will be expected back in the room where you have BJP leaders and NDA leaders. It is exactly a show of strength that was witnessed yesterday on the streets of Varanasi, where more than 6 lakh people were part of a historic moment as the Prime Minister undertook that embarked on that 7-kilometer long roadshow, ending the day with the Ganga Aarti. Abhishek, I believe you can hear me. This is just the last few formalities of the entire process taking place, as a short while back, as you were telling our viewers, how the Prime Minister also took oath.
Well, it's a standard oath that is given to all candidates who file nomination for contesting, Amita, and that is what happened when he said that he takes oath under the Constitution. I believe he used the word Ishwar, so that option is allowed. Either you take in the name of God, either you take the oath in the name of God, or you take the oath in the name of the Constitution. But that's a SOP, like a standard operating procedure that is followed by the Election Commission for every candidate who wants to contest a Lok Sabha or a Vidhan Sabha election, in this case, the Lok Sabha election. Prime Minister, as the pictures show, has paid his respects to everyone present in the room, specifically Prakash Singh Badal, the veteran, sad, the Shiromani Akali Dal Patriarch, and the proposers, four of whom very representing all walks of life of Varanasi, and more specifically the culture or subculture of Varanasi. And all NDA leaders present. He has thanked each one of them individually, expressed his gratitude that they are there at this time to present a show of strength, not just a show of strength, but also a show of unity. And as I was mentioning earlier, Amita, it's not just about the allies, it is also about senior leaders in the BJP who have been talked of for belonging to the 180, 200, 220 clubs are now unitedly standing behind the Prime Minister when he files the nomination papers for his Lok Sabha seat in Varanasi. These are pictures which are sending across a political message at multiple levels, one of which is obviously that BJP respects its allies and is accommodative towards them, despite the fact that this is the first time in history that it is contesting on highest number of seats. Also, while it has continued to grow, it has not been at the expense of its allies. It has been an organic growth where it has taken its partners along. In fact, there has been a spillover effect. I was talking to a BJP strategist a couple of days back, and he told me that while everyone is thinking of a massive anti-incumbency against the ADMK in Tamil Nadu, becoming an impediment for the BJP, he said that it might be the other way around, that whatever anti-incumbency is there against ADMK in Tamil Nadu might get, if not reversed, might get attenuated, might get, lesser in scale, because BJP is an ally with ADMK in Tamil Nadu, and that the vote ultimately is for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So the BJP is expecting to win certain seats in Tamil Nadu based on this understanding that while it has grown or continued to grow, at the same time it has had a spillover effect of that buoyancy on its allies as well. It is getting reflected in Bihar with the alliance, in the alliance with JDU. We saw how even Nitish Kumar perhaps reciprocated that accommodative spirit by coming in a bus rather than as a chief minister in his own car. So that's the kind of give and take that is happening between the allies. This is absolutely contrary to the perception that was created in the media when Narendra Modi came to Delhi, that he was dictatorial, that he would not listen to anyone, that they do not brook a dissent. But between Amit Shah and Narendra Modi, they have been able to manage to keep the alliance together, not just keep the flock together, but to make it grow to a level where when in 2014 BJP came to power, it was in power in 5 states. Now they are ruling 18 states, either on their own or with their allies. And the numbers have kept growing. While in 2014, NDA was an alliance of, I believe, 18 or 19 parties. Today, it stands at 28. So that's a massive increase, even in terms of number of allies that they have brought to their fold, mostly in the south and in the northeast, where they have actually a separate, a smaller regional alliance called NEDA, a Northeast Development Alliance, which is part of NDA. And that NEDA has all the 8 states of Northeast as part of the larger BJP-led NDA alliance. So we have seen how the party has tried to dominate the agenda, not just the agenda, but dominate the center of Indian polity by alliance making under Amit Shah and Narendra Modi, the two leaders who around whom a perception was created that they are not very democratic in terms of their political relationships. So in a way, even that argument stands busted as BJP goes or conducts itself in this 2019 general election campaign, Amita.
All right, Abhishek continues to stay with us as Prime Minister Narendra Modi filing his nomination papers, seeking re-election from constituency Varanasi, and we continue to stay with Abhishek. Abhishek, you, for the benefit of the viewers who have just tuned in, how big is this? Because in terms of numbers, in terms of ally power, the way from 2014 to 2019, the long distance that the party has covered, and most importantly, the kind of adjustments and the way Narendra Modi-led government actually galvanized its allies. And that is something which also stands out today with these important allies in full attendance as Prime Minister Modi files his nomination.
Well, that's we were discussing, Sakal, just a while back, that this is political messaging. This is political messaging to its own allies that we will go the extra mile to keep you together. This is political messaging to the opposition that while they have spent 2 years trying to make permutations and combinations, trying to create a ragtag coalition, trying to make adjustments which have failed at every stage. We have seen how in UP, Mayawati and Akhilesh are not ready to have any truck with the Congress party, to the extent that it is actually speculated that Priyanka Gandhi could not contest from Varanasi because essentially the BSP and the SP, they refused to give one more seat to the Congress party like they have done in the case of Rae Bareli and Amethi to the Gandhi family. We have seen how the Congress party remains isolated in crucial states and has not been able to create an alliance which gives it durability. How we have seen every attempt at alliance making, be it after the Karnataka elections, be it in the January rally in Bengal, in Kolkata, be it the rally, Safe Constitution rally in Mumbai last year, every attempt has really come undone. And yet we have BJP now presenting a picture where despite all the dissonance that was there, every ally is there. They are backing the Prime Minister, and they have very publicly done so with their presence at this nomination filing by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
But also, what also stands out, Abhishek, you would agree, in sharp contrast is the fact now Rae Bareli and Amethi, and particularly Amethi, is no longer the same story for the Congress party or for the Gandhi family. Whereas the way we have seen the kind of mass base, the kind of mass support, the kind of, the connect that Prime Minister Modi shares with his people in his very own constituency, plus the cadres, the outreach to the cadres. This is something which also stands in contrast. Also, UPA or perhaps Congress losing its allies one by one. They have an ally trouble in most of the states. And NDA, where you see more consolidation of allies in 2019 vis-a-vis 2014.
No, see, Sakal, that's very interesting bit. It's not that the allied trouble was not there with the BJP also. The alliance with Shiv Sena was on the rocks. Shiv Sena had almost walked out of NDA. There was nothing left unsaid about each other's leaders at the state level. Even at the national level, we had senior Sena leaders taking pot shots at Prime Minister Modi, at Amit Shah, and yet the alliance has been retrieved and has come back stronger given the kind of seat adjustments, seat sharing formula they have devised in Maharashtra. So it's back on even keel. Similarly, in the case of Akalis in Punjab, it was almost done. While there were many issues and there was a segment within the BJP that thought that the Akalis have perhaps become a bit of a liability. The Akalis hit back by saying that if the GST is not removed from Langar, then they will walk off. It was very representative of the kind of troubles that were there between the two. And yet, everything is back to normal and the alliance is on a stronger footing. It's a historic alliance, both in the case of Shiv Sena in Maharashtra and Akalis in Punjab. It's the alliance of ideological compatibility. It's an alliance of the extended Hindutva brotherhood. And that is why perhaps both the alliances are back.
Yes.
Similarly, we saw how in Assam, the AGP quit the NDA actually because of the Citizenship Amendment Bill, but is back in the alliance fold. Similarly, we have seen Nitish Kumar, who had refused to participate in a luncheon with BJP in Patna 5 years back because he did not want to be seen with Narendra Modi, is actually now not just part of an alliance, but actually went the extra mile today of coming in a bus to file those nomination papers. Now, it's important why this is happening, because BJP has made equal adjustments. They have 22 MPs sitting MPs in Bihar in the outgoing Lok Sabha, and yet this time they are contesting only on 17, annoying their own cadres, annoying their own leaders, and giving certain fixed seats to the JDU. So it's not that the troubles were not there for the BJP like for the Congress party. It's just that they have been more deft and adept at handling the alliance tantrums.
Absolutely, Abhishek. Abhishek, and that reminds me, the way Congress one by one in these 2019 elections, they're losing. In fact, they've almost lost their tried and tested allies. Look at what is happening to the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh. Could you ever imagine Akhilesh giving that snub to Rahul Gandhi? Forget Mayawati. Look at what's happening in Jammu Kashmir. National Conference Congress, no more on the same page. Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee starts with the whole show of strength, but then again, not really adaptable to the fact that it's going to be their prime ministerial candidate, Rahul Gandhi's projection initially. The story has changed so far. And as you rightly described, the way Modi led and the way Amit Shah kind of maneuvered and managed to get Shiv Sena back on track, to get Ahom Gan Parishad back on the page, to also get Shiv's, other important allies like Badals, which were not really happy with the whole GST narrative, back with them.
Well, there was no alliance whatsoever, Sakal, between TMC and Congress actually. Mamata is known to hold Rahul Gandhi, if not in contempt, but with some kind of indulgence, as someone who sees Rahul Gandhi as a person who is yet to evolve. She in fact had said that he still has some growing up to do. Mind you, in the January rally that was held in Brigade Parade Ground in Bengal, January 19, Congress party or the Congress leaders or Rahul Gandhi, they were the only ones conspicuous by their absence in the whole galaxy of opposition jamboree that it turned out to be. Mamata turned it into a projection for herself and not for the opposition alliance per se, and that is the reason why the alliance actually never came up despite all the attempts that have gone into it.
Yes, Abhishek. Abhishek, as we stay with these visuals, a while back we're showing our viewers, these are the deferred live visuals when Prime Minister Modi filed his nomination. In fact, now he has a busy day. He has 2 rallies to attend. Abhishek, continue talking to us in Madhya Pradesh and one in Maharashtra. But a quick review, the kind of contest or perhaps the non-contest that we see in 2019, at least in 2014, Arvind Kejriwal enjoyed that mass-based, mass support, riding high on that anti-corruption crusader, that image of his that he wanted to stay. Now, it's no more the same story. He may want to try to resurrect the image. But is Varanasi actually a contest on cards, Abhishek?
Well, since you mentioned Arvind Kejriwal, Sakal, I recall a couplet translated in English that the reign of Shah Alam ran from Delhi to Palam. So Arvind Kejriwal's footprint has got reduced just to Delhi. We have seen how the party's attempts at spreading its wings in areas outside Delhi have really come undone, except for some success in Punjab. And there also the dynamics might have changed on the ground already. Having said that, about Varanasi, whether there is a contest, Arvind Kejriwal had thrown a challenge to Prime Minister Modi in 2014. He had garnered about 2 lakh plus votes, but still was behind by Prime Minister by about 3.5 lakh votes. The Congress party had Ajay Rai, who has been an MLA from one of the seats in Varanasi district, but did not make the cut, getting less than 100,000 votes last time. But this time, there was an attempt by the Congress party to present a picture of confidence when, not so subtly, Priyanka Gandhi's candidature was being pushed and Priyanka herself was leading from the front in terms of sustaining that speculation that she should contest from Varanasi and throw some kind of challenge to Prime Minister Modi.